What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, this is going to be the first batch of 14 videos that I'm doing. One build for every single weapon, every single day for the next 2 weeks, starting Monday, what is it, December 21st? 22nd? I don't remember what day it is. I don't have a calendar up on my second monitor. Either way, I have done a lot of save resetting. I've done a lot of Gogmazios farming, like I'm sure a lot of you have. And because of that, I wanted to hit the ground running with a lot of save resets to try and make as many builds as possible, so I didn't have to kill Gogmazios like a million times. That being said, today's video is all about the Longsword. Now, the Gogmazios Longsword is really, really cool. And the reason for it is because of the perks that you can get on Gogmazios Artian weapons. You can see here, I rolled mine with sharpness, affinity, attack, and attack. Now, the reason for this is because I actually think this is the new type of god roll. Let me preface this with, at least on attack focused, which you can see right here, attack focus Gogma-Artian weapons. And the reason for it is when you have attack focused Gogma-Artian weapons, you get negative 10% affinity. That negative 10% affinity typically isn't a big deal. However, when you start breaking down the amount of skills that you can start putting on gear, you want to make sure that your affinity can get as high as possible. So this is what I recommend. I would recommend for the active skills, not Sergio's tenacity. I unfortunately didn't get that, and before I did the save reset on this build, I wasn't lucky enough to get a god roll, which means it's okay, it happens. But I did get Lord Soul. As you can see, I am using it with the new Udra armor and the Uthduna armor. Because Lord Soul can roll on these, that is typically going to be your best secondary active skill. As far as the primary active skill, there's going to be 3 main ones you want to look out for. Possibly 4 depending on your playstyle. 1, that is going to be the Guardian Fulgur Anjanath. It's going to give you additional stamina gauge. 2, you're going to be looking for Guardian Ebony Odogaron with Burst Boost. 3, Gogma-Artian Tyranny. And then technically 4, you could also look out for a Leviathan's Fury using Lagiacrus pieces, or even Omega Resonance, okay? I'm going to end up breaking down a lot of it in a lot of different videos. I have a lot of recording and editing stacking up, and I'm trying to get as much of it done. That way, this upcoming Monday, I can make sure that it is ready for all of you wonderful, wonderful people here on YouTube. So now that I've talked about the weapon, why I've chosen why I do, you also need to pay attention to your reinforcement bonuses. To my knowledge, you can only get 2 EX of each category, which means a weapon that had the original Artian parts of, say, 4 attack, 1 sharpness, you can only get attack boost EX twice. Meaning, at least in my opinion, it's not as important anymore to roll 4 attack, 1 sharpness, okay? On top of that, part of the reason we want sharpness is because if we can get high sharpness, you don't need skills like razor sharp anymore. You don't need skills like handicraft. You don't need master's touch. You can get away without them, which is where this build comes in. This build is a Guardian Fulgur Anjanath mixed with Lord's Soul, so guts, okay? Obviously, we have our Headman's Hamus. This is an insanely well-designed longsword. I love it. Super, super awesome. You can see here with how I have everything rolled, we have 236 base raw, negative 2% affinity, 100 paralysis attached to it. This is going to be the go-to type of weapon that you want if you are not using an element. And in this case, for this build, I'm not. I'm thinking, hey, let's do pretty much every fight in the game, minus Gogmazios, minus Omega, because everything else can get parried, okay? Next up, we have the Guardian Fulgur Helm Beta Transcended and Lagiacrus Coil Beta Transcended. The reason we are rocking these is because Guardian Fulgur Anjanath is really, really nice. Not only do you get an additional stamina gauge, but the additional stamina gauge makes it to where it's a lot easier to have upkeep on skills like Maximum Might. Lagiacrus is really, really nice because it just naturally comes with some really, really good skills on top of some good opening decoration slots. Those 2 level 2s and the level 1 are really, really nice. Not to mention, we also have Gogmazios armor in here. The reason we're rocking Gogmazios armor is because Gogmazios armor actually has different skill bonuses depending on what type of gear it is, whether it's alpha or beta. as well as whether it's the head, the helmet, the chest, the arms, the coil, or the legs. Okay, so make sure when you guys are crafting your gear, you're taking a look and seeing what's available. This one has Second Wind, which is Guardian Fulgur Anjanath, mixed with my Guardian Fulgur Anjanath here, Guardian Fulgur Anjanath here. We are guaranteed to have the additional stamina gauge. Last but not least, we have the new Udra and the Uthduna Arch-Tempered gear. Now, the reason for this is also because of the skill bonuses that they provide. The skill bonuses are insane. You get Quick Sheath, which is really nice, and you get Counter Strike with some really good deco slots. Part of the reason we're rocking all this armor is because in total, you are able to have Critical Eye maxed out because we want to make sure that our affinity is not low. Critical Eye, at least in my opinion, is actually valuable again. Because of how easily it is to have a negative affinity, we might as well take full advantage of it. I would rather crit more than run the risk of hitting that weak strike. So, with everything together, we have Critical Eye, Critical Boost, Speed Sharpening, Weakness Exploit, Agitator, Counter Strike, Maximum Might, Divine Blessing, Stun Resistance, Recovery Up, Quick Sheath, Stamina Surge, and Shock Absorber. Not to mention, we have Guts, and we have Fulgur Anjanath's signature ability. The way we get that is with this mix of decorations. Now, the big thing is this charm. The charm that I have rolled really, really well. I ended up getting this while I was farming for Gogmazios, and I was like, you know what? Critical Eye might be important. I decided to keep it just because I had already done some of the trial and error when it came to Gogmazios and it came to ascending those Artian weapons that we already had. I would say if you have a Critical Eye 3 charm, golden. Even if it's rarity 7, that's fine. The idea behind it here is that you want just Critical Eye level 2 or level 3. And the reason is it allows you, if you have a grinder expert or some sort of expert jewel that you can put right here, it allows you to negate all of the negative affinity that you would normally have with an attack-focused Gogma-Artian weapon. Okay? I understand there's going to be a lot of people that are like, what about attack boost? What about crit boost? Well, the thing is crit boost you only get to really take advantage of if you have high affinity. And attack boost is great, but attack boost has kind of fallen off, at least in my opinion, because a lot of the bonuses that you get from attack boost can be kind of like subjugated with by having well-rolled attack boosts in your weapon now. You don't really need to have 4 attack, 1 sharpness, and have either a lack of white sharpness or a lack of attack, when you can kind of go for right in the middle sweet spot, and it's not diminishing returns. So the reason for that is this, and I recommend 100% Critical Eye level 2 or level 3 specifically for your charm. Ideally, it's a Golden Age charm rolled with at least 1 offensive and 1 defensive deco. If it's a Critical Eye 3 and it only has 1 offensive deco, that's fine. Even if it doesn't have one, the idea is you just need 3 levels of Critical Eye. I happen to get really lucky and I have all 5. Okay, now, as far as the decorations go, we have Critical Jewel, Grinder Expert. Now, the reason we're using Grinder Expert is because Grinder Expert is actually really, really nice because you have Speed Sharpening now. Speed Sharpening isn't necessarily a need for this build. However, if we were to take a look at all of my different skills that I have for the level 1s, Sonorous doesn't work for me, Charge Up doesn't work for me, Flight, Poison, Magazine, and Grinder. None of these top ones have any sort of validity for me on Longsword. Grinder at least makes it to where I remove 2 cycles of sharpening. It's a little quality of life, but it's not anything crazy. As far as everything else goes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Tenderizer Jewels. We have 1, 2, 3 Protection Jewels. 1, 2 Refresh Jewels. We have a Counter Jewel. We have a Shockproof. That way we don't have to worry about hitting anybody else and nobody has to worry about hitting us. Okay? And we have Steadfast for stun resistance. Ideally, all of this coincides for you guys. However, I understand not everybody is going to have the ability to just grind this out, which is why I recommend at least transcending this helmet and forging out this set of armor, the Gogmazios pieces. You've seen this stuff on my channel a million times before. Arch-Tempered Nudra, Arch-Tempered Uthduna, Legiacris, none of them need to be transcended to get this build. The only one you really need are Gogmazios Arms Alpha and the Guardian Fulgur beta, and your weapon needs to roll with Lord's Soul or Guts, okay? And then obviously the critical eye charm. Now the reason for all of this is because if you come over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk to our boy Luke here real quick. In training settings, we are going to not have wounds. We are going to enable Agitator 4. And we are going to run over here. You can see that I have a little stamina gauge right now. The little stamina gauge is really, really nice because we don't have to worry about burning our stamina. The only move that takes stamina is your Foresight Slash. Because you are able to very easily get that stamina back, even your EI Spirit Slash counters do not take stamina, meaning it is very, very easy to have a minimum 58% affinity. But it's actually more than that. And the reason for it is because Weakness Exploit does not show. So when a monster is agitated, Agitator procs, Maximum Might is active, Weakness Exploit is the only thing not showcasing as active. Weakness Exploit, however, gives you an additional 30% as long as it's not a hard spot, in which case would be back here. You can see we are hitting the hard part of the monster, which means we only have the 58% affinity. But if we were to come over here, we're actually sitting closer to, instead of 58%, 88%. Now, the thing about it is that it will stay like that. You have this naturally. We call it 60% up to 90% affinity just for playing the game. And then if you use your stamina, let's say you do a Foresight Slash, your stamina surge kicks in and you get your maximum might back by the time you are finishing the combo. And what I mean by that is right here. We'll Foresight Slash, and that's it. By the time we have finished our combo and moved into our follow-up attack after Foresight Slash, which let's go ahead and showcase right here. We'll go ahead and Smash Mode, Weak's knocked back. We go ahead and tick. We'll hit. We'll start building up our charge. Foresight Slash. By the time we have moved into our next combo, the Special Sheath or whatever you're following it up with, you already have maximum might back, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first build of 14, thanks to Title Update 4 and the Gogma-Artian weapons. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys are as interested in Title Update 4 and other games as I am, I want to let you all know that I stream most nights on Twitch over at twitch.tv/SnyperSama. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.